Guys, welcome to the CryoFX YouTube channel. This is going to be a quick setup and strike video for a stadium style continuous blow confetti machine, and that's what you see right here. What you see is a box, but inside of it has all the parts that we need, and of course the ones here to set this up and accurately have a ton of confetti like you see on any of the major parades or festivals or anything like that. This shoots a lot of confetti at a high rate. It's called a stadium style for a reason, and it's a continuous flow. Why? Because it continuously shoots out confetti. This isn't a single shot. You load the confetti in and you shoot it. Now, between the different confetti machines, this is a large one. There's another one that's a small one that's a little bit smaller than this flight case here. The only difference realistically between those is obviously the amount of confetti that it holds, the distance and the height that it shoots, the amount of confetti that it shoots at a single time, as well as continuously, and for the most part, whether it is DMX controlled or not. So this one is DMX controlled, the other ones are not. Why would you want a DMX controlled one? Because you can load the confetti up, and we're gonna show you how to do that, and you can just go ahead and let it rip. Buy a DMX controller that doesn't have to be local to the machine. Now, if you have a machine that does not have a DMX functionality to it, you have a manual on and off valve. We're not gonna talk about that here, but every one of those machines would require a person to manually turn it on and off at a specific cue, probably with a headset or something else, whatever the time is in the event that you need it to shoot. So with that said, CO2 tank, these do require CO2 tanks. They're not pre-charged. The best CO2 tanks are gonna be a siphon tube CO2 tank because they are quieter. Do you have to have a siphon tube tank? Absolutely not. You can have a regular CO2 tank, but the regular CO2 that's going through it is gonna be a little bit louder in decibel level and volume, as far as respect to audio, if you will, it's gonna be a louder effect, right? These ones that have siphon tube are less, they're quieter. They're quieter. Do they shoot out a cloud of CO2 with it, depending on where you're at? Yes. Vegas, not so much, because Vegas, well, we have drier weather and there's less humidity. So with that said, what's gonna happen? First and foremost, you have the power. You wanna grab the power from the machine, and you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna hook the power up just like that. All right, then you have the DMX cable. DMX cable, I already have the DMX cable plugged into our controller. We're using a Chauvet Obey 3. Any DMX controller can work. These are one channel DMX. That's it, on and off. Simple, no time, nothing else, just a one channel on and off. So DMX, you're gonna plug the DMX in, as we will do here. The machine itself, we have the machine set to 001, which is going to be the DMX for this particular use. If you have a different DMX type of setup with your universe or channels or wherever you want to put it, that's up to you. But for functionality, we run all special effects on their own DMX channel. Why? Because if there's any misfiring of anything else, this isn't like a light where you're gonna get, you know, a light that goes wonky or something like that. If you mess up confetti, you're shooting confetti at the wrong time. So that's why we like having everything on its own dedicated channel. We don't like sharing channels. That's just how we do it. You may decide to do it different. That's totally up to you. There's certain LDs out there and other people, depending on whatever your position is, that just like to do it differently. So with that said, DMX is hooked up. We got power hooked up. What I'm going to do next is I have our DMX board here. The DMX board, we always do this before we set up any hoses or tanks or anything else. I want to make sure that I hear a click before anything else. So with this particular board, you need to have it where you have this button on, which is macro, and you have manual RGB. We're not using this as a normal lighting controller here. This is just a slider, an on and off button, if you will. So with that said, we make sure that we have the macro, manual RGB. We're on channel 1, that's why it says fire. You can hear the valve click, so we're good there. Next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take the hose. This is the most important part to anything here, okay? You have this washer and you have to hook the washer and put the washer into the CO2 fitting. So many people do not do that. You're gonna get lucky and it's probably not gonna leak. You're gonna hook it up 3 or 4 times and it starts to leak, and then you have a problem. You wonder where all your CO2 went. And the first thing that somebody says is your equipment's broke. The equipment is not broke, because all of the equipment that is CO2 related, whether it's this or anything else like a jet, is literally an on and off function. So if the valve turns on and the valve turns off, the equipment works. It's probably the tank, it's the washer, or it's something else. There's something else going on. So with that said, we take the washer, we bring this over to the CO2 tank. If you want to zoom in right here, what we'll do is we go ahead and screw this fitting on here. All right. Now, once the fitting's screwed on, you're gonna wrench that down, okay? For the purpose of the video, we're not gonna wrench it down because this is just a demo, but you would wrench this down about another quarter of a turn, right? You don't wanna tighten it too tight because if you tighten it too tight, you're gonna mess the fitting up. Next, you wanna make sure that the tank is secured near the machine. So what we do is we will end up getting a ratchet strap and we strap the tank to the machine or around the handles on the machine. Why? Because you don't want this tank falling over. If this tank falls over, it's gonna be problematic for a couple of people, probably a lot of people, including you, because you have the risk of a very high pressure cylinder that could go into the crowd and damage people. And yes, there's been instances before where this vitally damages people, so you have to make sure safety is paramount. Anyways, with that said, we're not gonna be ratchet strapping this for the purpose of this video here, but I would ratchet strap it around here or to the handles or to something else. You have to use your best judgment. Don't ratchet strap it to something where it's just easily gonna fall over, all right? Probably not a good idea. You're gonna go ahead and take the hose. You'll hook the hose up, pull the fitting back, click that in, and pull this back, and now we're good, right? Now, I'm gonna turn it on just a little bit, and I'm gonna let it sit for a minute, right? I did not tighten this all the way down for the video because this is a demo video here. But what I would do is if this was tightened down, I turn it on, I'm gonna make sure I hear no leaks. Now you notice that I'm telling you to do this while this case is still closed, right? There's a reason why. There's residual confetti that's inside this machine. And if you're at an event and you're setting this up, wherever you're at, if you have the lid off of this already, and you are testing this and for some reason the valve has a leak in it or one of the channels is up and the valve actually starts spraying out CO2, you are gonna start spraying out some of that residual confetti and then you are gonna be on the hook for cleaning that confetti up, right? It's not the event that's gonna do that. So it's better to test it with this on because this is a case. Now, for the purpose of this video, I just have to clarify, we do have these unhooked. Don't test this with this unhooked because for some reason, if it blows out, it will blow the lid off, all right? Just don't do it. It has a possibility to do that. Therefore, these would be locked in. Again, for this video, because I'm about to just lift this off, we have those disconnected. So for you, do not disconnect those yet. Test everything, make sure it's good. Okay, we're good. Now, there's no leaks. At that point, you would take the top off. All right, now inside, we have a hose here because this hose actually came with it. I'm gonna put this hose aside. We already have our hose that we've hooked up, right? If your hose is inside the machine, then what you would do at that point is you would take the hose out, put the lid back on, tighten it, and then go ahead and hook it up and make sure everything's good, all right? I did this opposite because this is a demo video here. The hose can also reside in a compartment down here. I'm gonna get to that compartment in just a minute. All right, therefore, if the hose was on the underside, you wouldn't have to take the top off to access the hose in here. You're gonna have a few pieces that are in here. You're gonna have the nozzle of the confetti machine, and it has some attachments here, and these are going to fit into the front. We'll get to that in just a minute. If you wanna come over here, inside, you have this board. Typically, this would be upside down and the nozzle would be here and that just stops it from banging all over and rolling around everywhere. What you are gonna do though, is you are gonna take this and you're gonna turn it upside down so it's a flat surface like this. And this flat surface, if you notice here, there's going to be, some of them have it, some of them don't. This one has Velcro on it. The Velcro itself, if you come over here, the Velcro itself, the way this Velcros is it Velcros back so that you have a piece right here in the middle. Now, why is this? Because as the machine fires, the confetti that's placed right here will start to fall down there, and the confetti will go under the lip that's there and get sucked up and shoot out the front. All right, so all your confetti will get loaded right here. Now, even though that this is DMX controlled, I would still say that it's best that you have somebody stand here and move the confetti over as it fires. Too much confetti, what's gonna happen is it's gonna get clogged down there. You don't want it to get clogged. You want it to just slowly go in there and come out. We say about a ½ pound of confetti per second, roughly. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. You don't know what that is, neither do I. So it's just, you're gonna have to do trial and error. But that's at the time that you start to use it. The nozzle itself, obviously this only goes in one way, right? So you put it in and then you twist it and you want it to lock. If this does not lock, you have the risk of this blowing off and this will hurt somebody, okay? We always put stanchions in front of this, at least 7 feet, 10 feet, because the last thing I'd want is somebody to be standing here and then they get blown in the face with confetti. That's not gonna be a good day for you or for them. There's gonna be lawyers involved and it's very problematic for everybody. So now that you have this hooked up, now that you have that hooked up, tank would be on, the confetti would be inside here, and then what's gonna happen, just so you know, this is a compartment. I might as well cover this on this video. This is where you could store confetti, you could store the hose. Some machines, they have this compartment, others don't. If the hose is down here, we're always just careful because there's internal parts for the valve and for other things that ultimately could get damaged. So that compartment only serves as a storage area. That's pretty much it. So we can lock that up. Outside of that, we would be good. So now we would be at the point where we go ahead, for the purpose of this video, we'll turn this on and you're able to shoot confetti, see? So when you're turning it off, you turn, now that we've shot the confetti, now we're ready to strike this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the tank off first. What's gonna happen at this point, if there's already confetti on the ground, big deal. At that point, if it doesn't matter if you shoot more confetti out or not, you need to clear the tank. You can either slowly loosen this, or what I like to do is just come over here and fire it a few more times, get the residual out, and then call it a day. If the event does not want any more shot because for whatever reason they're continuing or they already cleaned or anything else, then at that point, you would come over here and take the nozzle off. So as you saw there, it's a little bit difficult to get that off. That's actually a good thing because you want to make sure that it's on. If it was super easy to get it off, well, probably it would be an issue. Might want to tighten it down. But anyways, at that point, you would go ahead, you would take this and put this back. Actually, we would turn this around, upside down like that. And then this would go inside these straps just like that. Boom. So that's that. So at this point, for either way, what you would do earlier, whether you blow it out already, I would still take this down and then I'll get to the hose in a minute. If I haven't done that, you can't blow it out because of the event. Then you'll go ahead, you'll put the top on, you'll lock the top down, and then you go ahead and you activate it. We'll show you what this would look like here, right? So if this was still charged up, you're just gonna hear a little bit inside, but it's contained. Obviously you would strap this down and hook this down. I didn't do that because we're timing on the video. So then we go in and we start disconnecting, all right? We're gonna go ahead and disconnect this. So we come over here. We're gonna strike this now. Obviously you'll have a wrench, but for video purposes only, what we are doing is saving this washer if you can. Disconnect that, disconnect the hose. I like the hose to go underneath. It can go in this inside here as well. Hose goes in, and then we are good to go, right? At least with the top. I'm gonna disconnect the DMX cable here, bring that out, and then I'm going to disconnect the power. We're gonna wrap the power cable up. Obviously, just like that, close the door, boom. Take this, we'll go ahead and put this on, and we're gonna lock this up, make sure that's good to go on all four corners, just like that. Strike our DMX controller, strike our power, and that's that. So that shows you how to properly set up and strike a large stadium style continuous flow confetti machine. This is not an electric confetti cannon. This is a stadium style confetti cannon, confetti machine, whatever you want to call it. And this is CryoFX YouTube channel. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, put those down in the comments. Other than that, this is a quick start, quick strike video. Welcome to the channel if you're new. If not, We have other videos here. Have a good day.